What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? How you doing? How your mama doing? How your daddy doing? How your family doing? Anyway, check it out. All right. So I'm watching this movie called Redemption. Right now it's on Tubi. I don't know where else you might find it. It might be on YouTube. It might be on Hulu. I don't know. But in this scene right here, you got this nun who's drunk and she's talking to Jason about she's not knowing if God exists. She says in her language, I use God as an excuse to avoid looking for myself. Looking for herself, meaning trying to find out who she is type shit. Now, for a long, long time, no, let me put it like this. When I was a kid, my parent had me going to church every now and then. But conversation of religion was still in the house. Alright? Prayer, shit like that was still in the house. Alright? So as I became a teenager, I was on the fence. Basically saying I was like, I don't know if God exists, but I'm not trying to piss him off if he does. That type of shit. You know, I was like, I don't believe, but I don't want to basically piss God off again. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things where I finally gave religion completely up. You know, after talking with my brother, I would say about 6, 7, 8 years ago, something like that. And it was just one of those things where fear kept me in the religious loop. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things where it's like, what are you afraid of? You know what I'm saying? And then it bothered me for years that I would see myself or other people, you know, be on the fence about religion. And then I would see people just use religion as an excuse. It's like somebody saying, hey, if God says it's okay, then I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that in my life. If God says it's not okay, then I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I remember whenever I was in a relationship that I didn't want to be in anymore, I would pray like, God give me a sign to let me know whether this girl was going to be right for me or not. When I was single, I would say, hey, it must be God saying that I need to be single right now. All right? And then when I was in a relationship or when I met somebody, I'd be like, okay, I guess God is wanting me to be in a relationship right now because he brought somebody to my life. It's some fucked up shit. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I say it's fucked up for me because I usually met females when I wasn't looking. When I was just minding my own business, doing something, a female would be attracted to me. You know what I'm saying? I would be attracted to a female, that type of thing. But whenever I go out clubbing, or I go out specifically to look for a female, I could never find one that, you know what I'm saying, I was interested in. Things like that. So it was always some weird shit. Now see, I don't know what I'm going to title this. I want to title it something like, why don't people use God? Like people use kids for welfare. You know what I'm saying? Because it's some fucked up shit that for years, centuries, decades, centuries, whatever, religion has been used as propaganda. It's been used as a tool for politics. It's been used all through slavery. It was used in so many ways by so many different people. And I'm not going to say it's been used in a good way. You know what I'm saying? It seemed to always be used to benefit somebody else's will against somebody else. And it's crazy. It's kind of like, how many people, if you're watching this, how many people have you known that will get an ass whooping over religion? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like somebody having a religious parent that will whoop their ass, and then when they get older, their parents don't even practice religion no more. It's like, ain't that some bullshit? It's fucked up. And then on top of that, it's like, how many times have you seen somebody do some damage to somebody else, and you're like, where was God? You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, my predicament right now, it's like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? In my life right now, it's like, man, some shit happened to me that should not ever happen. And then you got to question, why did God let that happen, man? You know what I'm saying? I'm a decent person. I'm cool, man. I give. I'm a giver. You know what I'm saying? Whenever I fuck with people and I'm really fucking with somebody, I'm a giver. I want them to have more than I'll have. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, it's like it doesn't take me, you know what I'm saying, to be punished or to go through some shit in order to do something good for other people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why did this thing happen to me? Why did something happen to me that you don't change my life around? I mean, change my life around for, I don't know, man. I'm not going to say for the good because this shit is like a prison sentence. But anyway, it's kind of like, man, I've seen so many people deal with religion and I don't know, man. It's like if you argue with them about it, you know what I'm saying? It's like spinning. It's like going in circles, because you know they can't produce new material. They can't convince you in more ways than just some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I've already thought that. I've already used to think that. Tell me something new. You know what I'm saying? And they can't never do it. But you argue with somebody who don't believe in religion, and they'll give you tons of reasons why, you know, this shit is bullshit. So I'm sitting here, I'm watching this movie, and you know, I'm sitting here, I'm like, blah, blah, blah. You know, I kind of wanted to turn the movie off because I've seen it before. But then, you know, it came to this scene, and I was like, oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? It just reminded me of how I've been thinking about, you know, religion for a long time. And I'm just like, man, people use God as an excuse, and I don't like it. I don't know. I remember how I used to think that people should be accountable for their own bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Be responsible for their way of thinking. It's like it's not God putting those words in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's you putting those words in your mouth. You know what I mean? It's like, man, that's some bullshit. Cause it's like, you know, you think of somebody who's fed up with something, and then they go and they say some of the most nastiest shit. And it's like, and when you know them, you're like, man, that ain't God, man. You've been feeling that way for a long time. You just, you know, ballsy enough to say it right now. You know what I'm saying? And it trips me out how they're like, oh no, the spirit came over me. It's like, bullshit. I don't like that shit, man. And then it's like, to use God as an excuse for, you know, for trying to find yourself. When it's like, you can't hide from yourself. You could lie to yourself, but you can't hide from yourself. Because, I mean, for one, you look at yourself in the mirror all the damn time. You know what I'm saying? You're constantly looking at your shadow whenever the sun's behind you. So you can't hide from yourself in a physical sense. Now, on a spiritual level, you know, dealing with your soul, it's like, I think the only time where you might be able to hide from yourself is when you sleep and you're having a dream. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, I don't know what's up with dreams, man. Dreams be taking us places that we ain't never seen before. Dreams be introducing us to people we ain't never met before. Dreams be putting us in predicaments that we don't ever want to be in. Dreams will put us in positions where we always wanted to be in. You know what I'm saying? So that might be an escape for myself, some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? Some kind of psychological way. I don't know. But when we're awake and we're conscious of the shit that's going on around us, it's like, man, okay, here's a story. One time I went on a road trip, all right? And I had my dog with me, and I needed to take him out, you know what I'm saying, to let him take a piss or take a shit, whatever he needed to do. Because we'd been on the road for a while. And so I'm in a place where I had not ever been before. And then I was like, okay, God, take me to the nearest park. I'm being cynical. I'm talking shit, okay? And it's crazy how I heard the words, next two lights make a left. And so I answered, I'm like, okay. And so next two lights I made a left. And then it was like, then I heard, next two lights make a right. And I mean, it was like after I was riding down the road for a while, then I heard, make a right. Next two lights, make a right. So I did that. And I drove for a little bit. And I'm like, I'm lost in the motherfucker. And I was like, man, I'm paranoid because I'm like, man, I'm around a bunch of Peckerwoods, a bunch of Caucasians, and I ain't trying to get, hung. I ain't trying to get fucked up, you know what I'm saying? So I'm scared, you know what I mean? And then I hear, some more directions, make a left, make a right, and I'll be down, man. I ended up at a fucking park. So I was sitting up there tripping. I was like, boy, I better quit playing with God. You know what I'm saying? And it was just a whole, it was like a whole fucking, like right now, it's a whole testimony, you know what I'm saying? And it just kind of fucked me up. I was like, boy, this is crazy, man. It's crazy. I went directly to a fucking park. 20-minute ride took me directly to a park. With those directions of make a left, make a right. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never been there before. You know what I'm saying? I'm not good at navigation like that. Not like that. Not like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm good at guessing, but not like that. Not like that. So this whole thing about religion fucks me up, man. It's like, it fucks me up to where I get mad. You know what I'm saying? I get mad to where I'm just like, this shouldn't be happening, man. It shouldn't be happening. Things just shouldn't be happening. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, this is the first time I talked about religion in a long time. I'm the type of person where it's like, out of sight, out of mind. You know what I'm saying? Don't talk about it, don't be about it. You know what I'm saying? If I don't believe in it, if I don't practice it, then why the fuck should I talk about it? You know what I mean? It's not that important. You know what I'm saying? It's not important enough for me to be talking about. You know what I mean? So here it is, I'm watching this, and I remember, you know what I'm saying, by the end of this movie, I remember what this woman does. Right now she's a nun. Alright? She's a nun. And she's having these thoughts. She's saying this shit. And I'm just like, man, and I've seen the movie, so I know what happens at the end. So it's just one of those things where I'm like, boy, religion is a motherfucker, man. And it pisses me off when somebody uses it in a way where they're taking advantage of other people. You know what I'm saying? And then I hate it because people are so codependent upon it. I hate it because of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, if there's going to be a choice in your life, you know what I'm saying? Why don't you be the person to make that choice in your life? You know what I'm saying? If it's a good choice, then you can give yourself some praise. If it's a bad choice, you know what I'm saying? You make a better decision next time. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, man. I'm going to get off of this because I'm going to start talking in circles. But, yeah, I'm going to start talking in circles because I don't know, for years, I would have religious people come up and talk to me, and I would listen to them. You know, I wouldn't give my response to them. You know, I wouldn't respond to them too much because my response would be different. It would be like, yeah, but, you know what I'm saying? They'll be saying something, I'll be like, yeah, but, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, I remember when people used to say, if someone doesn't look you in the face when they're talking to you, then it means they're lying to you. When I heard that after so many times, I was like, man, fuck that. And I purposely stopped looking people in the eye. Even though I'd be telling them the truth. You know what I'm saying? And if anybody accused me of lying, I basically want to fight them. Because I hated that saying. I hated that way of thinking. I'm like, man, that's some bullshit. And you're a bullshit ass person for believing in that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where, like I said, you know, I gotta go ahead and cut this video loose. And you know, just leave it as it is. So anyway, here's my disclaimer. I don't know everything, but there's a lot of things that I do know. I'm not the smartest person, but I'm not the dumbest person. I have done some research, and there's a lot of research that I have not done. But question everything that I'm saying. Question it, dissect it, tear it apart, and question it. You know what I'm saying? And please, do your own research, and most definitely, when you come across a point where, you know, where you've done all the research that you could possibly do, you know what I'm saying? Have a conversation with somebody. Go and talk with somebody. Share your information with somebody. Reason being, you never know when somebody could be thinking the same thing. They just don't have anybody to talk to themselves. You know what I'm saying? You might come across a beautiful conversation with somebody. You know what I mean? You might not. You might get into an argument with somebody. But you just never know how it might affect somebody in a positive way to have been able to talk about this topic. Whether it works out in their favor or not. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm going to get off this video. Have a good day. Have a good night. Have a good morning. Peace.